This video is going to be extremely important. Yes, I didn't upload a video for a few days, but overall guys, we can see a lot of volatility in the market. We have talked about this major range, yes, from the beginning of March all the way to these levels. And yes, a very important factor that we always talked about is manipulation. Within this major zone, yes, we saw a lot of whale manipulation when it comes to the price movement of Bitcoin. It has always been the fact that major whales have been accumulating and reaccumulating Bitcoin and redistributing Bitcoin at certain levels. But yes, now we can see that major corporations have joined the game. And these major corporations are BlackRock that accumulate exactly here, because on the weekly chart we can see this major dump towards the downside, which was manipulated, and the price was pressed all the way down to these levels. Because remember, the major factor of Bitcoin is that you only have 21 million Bitcoin and 19 million already in circulation. And if we're seeing major companies like BlackRock and major institutions, they want to accumulate Bitcoin. So what they're going to do, they're going to manipulate the price movement into a certain direction, either with selling Bitcoin at a strategic point like Germany did all the way in these levels, or they're going to break major FUD in the market, maybe even negative news about Bitcoin to bring the price movement all the way back down to these levels. Because yes, they want to get you out of the market, all the retail investors, and this is in any type of industry. Yes, we're seeing a major manipulation from major banks, corporations, or even governments that are manipulating you. And if you don't believe all of that, guys, then you need to be watching until the end. Because yes, I'm going to give you a major factor which is actually hidden in plain sight. Because yes, maybe you have bought the top on Bitcoin or even Solana, but I'm going to show you why this is all irrelevant, and the only thing that you should be doing at the moment is either sit on your hands or accumulate at these major discounts. Because yes, this might be the beginning of a major move towards the upside. This bullish candle that we can see on the weekly chart that gives us the indication, yes, we have seen this before, and this could be the beginning of a major parabolic run, because this was also an extreme bullish candle after a wick towards the downside. This signalizes us that there's a lot of buying pressure, and I'm going to show you, before we're going to deep dive into the chart, where this major buying pressure comes from. And we're going to go over to X. And yes, we're going to listen to this interview from Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. And remember guys, BlackRock is a major corporation buying a lot of Bitcoin. And remember guys, they are one of the biggest investment firms. They even have shares in Fidelity and major companies around the world. So they're actually controlling everything, and also the major news outlets. So yes guys, you're being manipulated, but let's listen what Larry Fink has to say, because he's extremely bullish on Bitcoin. So yes guys, this should be a major message to you. So let's find out more.
Now, I know you have been a leader in willing to embrace crypto. You have made it so that people can be in Bitcoin. We hear that you are thinking about Ethereum. These are incredible things. Now, BlackRock is not known as a gunslinger by any means. So you obviously must believe that this maybe is an alternative. Is this an alternative in order to be able, because of a deficit, maybe something long-term people should have?
Absolutely. As you know, I was a skeptic.
Yes.
I was a proud skeptic. And I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, okay, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe the opportunity today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. I'm not trying to say there's not misuses like everything else, but it is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. Right. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence, and if you have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. I believe you're going to see that as one of the asset classes that we all look at. I look at it as digital gold, as I said before, and I do believe there's a real need for everyone to look at it as one alternative to, I would say, the optimism that I have in the world. If you want to hedge hope, Bitcoin is not an instrument for hope unless you're hopeful you're going to make a lot of money on it. But I look at it as a vehicle in which you're expressing your financial acumen in something that you're more frightened of the world, you're more frightened of your existence. And I believe there's a great industrial use for it. And I think a lot of people are missing that.
I couldn't agree more. I changed my mind about it when you did. You had been my thing.
So he said that everybody actually should own Bitcoin because yes, all of these major things that we can see in the market that is maybe pushing the price of Bitcoin down, maybe even looming wars or major political uncertainty. Yes, these are all the attributes that Bitcoin is made for, major uncertainty and also banks that are going to fail, debasement of currencies, because overall guys, you should have a long-term perspective because yes, your time horizon must be absolutely clear. If you didn't buy the absolute bottom all the way down here, it is okay to invest exactly here. But remember, we always see these major consolidations exactly at the halvings before we're going to see stage 2 of the bull market. So yes, you're actually at the exact right time. Yes, maybe we're seeing a short-term volatility that is driving the price movement of Bitcoin down. But guys, use these major volatile swings to invest in cryptocurrencies like Solana. You got this major dump all the way to the $109 level. So this was a major discount. But remember, all of these major institutions, they are accumulating. Yes, they are manipulating the price movement sideways. So a lot of people get boring and they're going to regret that they bought exactly here. So they're going to sell the investment with the hopes that they can buy at a very low level, that they are going to see a major dump like it's being orchestrated in the market, and the major fear and all these major news that are in the markets to manipulate the price movement. But guys, we can see all the time when Bitcoin dumps towards the downside, major institutions, whales, they're accumulating. So that's why we're seeing this major push towards the upside. And yes, we're not out of the woods from this dump and this major correction all the way back up, because Bitcoin needs to break this important level. Yes, the 61.8, which is perfectly lining up with all the moving averages, because if we turn on the moving averages, then we can see exactly here. The 13 moving average is normally an indication that we can say yes, we are in this bullish trend and that we could expect to break towards the upside, breaking the previous all-time high. So this is going to be extremely important. But on the lower time frames, on the daily chart, we can see that exactly at the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level on the daily chart, we can perfectly see we have the 200 moving average, the 50 moving average and the 100 moving average. This yellow line exactly here perfectly lines up with the 13 moving average on the weekly chart. So ultimately, this is the level that Bitcoin needs to break exactly here, the 61.8, where we got this major rejection. And yes, this also perfectly lines up with the 60,000 US dollars. But this is also a major level, guys, because this was previous support all the way down here, exactly within these levels. And yes, previous support will turn into resistance. So yes, this might take a while until Bitcoin is going to break towards the upside. But ultimately, guys, you're going to get a lot of fear within this zone. Yes, the market is going to go up and also down, and you're going to get a lot of bad news. And yes, a lot of people will get tempted to sell their Bitcoin or any type of currency exactly here through all this fear that is manipulated. And once again, we could expect that the price comes all the way back down. So yes, what should you be doing? Selling now? No, you either sit on your hands or you're going to reinvest exactly at these levels. You're not going to sell any positions, because the time is going to come that we're going to see this major reversal and this major pump. You're going to buy when this major hype is going to get started, because remember, if we're going to see this turnaround, which is going to come, because if you've been watching my channel, you know exactly what is about to happen. Yes, we're going to see stage 2 of the bull market, this major parabolic run, which is going to start exactly here. And I know your pain. If you bought Solana exactly at the top, you're in some major loss. But guys, believe me, dollar cost average and accumulate. sit on your hands and just wait until we're going to get this major push towards the upside and the start of this parabolic run. Because if we're going to look at the weekly chart of Solana, exactly here, this was after the previous halving, and yes, this was also a 40% correction followed by a 1400% pump all the way to the all-time high. And yes, if you would have bought exactly here in this consolidation phase, which was exactly the bottom, yes, this was exactly where I made the call that you should buy Solana at the $24 level. If you just would have held exactly here and accumulated each and every time we saw these fearful moments in the markets, you would have made a major profit. Because all the way from here at this fearful moment, this major down, this was a pump of, yes, 1500%. You would have had these profits if you would have invested exactly 1 year ago. So yes, in the short-term perspective, you were down exactly within these levels. If you would have invested all the way up here, you would have been down 48%, exactly the same numbers that we can see exactly here. And yes, all the signals that we can see in this picture are extremely bullish. We can see a sideways consolidation, a consolidation over time, meaning that the price goes sideways over a long period of time, that the moving averages can catch up to the price movement, which is important because ultimately, guys, nothing can go up in a straight line, and a healthy market consolidates in stairs with a pump, consolidation, pump, consolidation, and a further pump towards the upside, and yes, all these dips towards the downside, and even this perfect bounce at the 13 moving average on the monthly chart is extremely bullish. And paired with all this information that we have, that we are at the brink of a major parabolic run with a phase 2 of the bull market, which is going to start, because it has been the same each and every 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. After the halving, consolidation phase, and a major push towards the upside, because exactly here we can see these are the days after the Bitcoin halving. This means exactly this line is the Bitcoin halving, and we are at the moment this black line all the way down here. These are 112 days after the Bitcoin halving, and this has been the first cycle in the year 2012. We saw this parabolic move close to the 50 days after the halving. Exactly here we started with this parabolic run, but this was extremely early in the Bitcoin cycles. And in the next cycle, 2016, we saw the sideways consolidation exactly at the halving, this blue line, and exactly 112, or let's say roundabout 150 days after the halving, we saw this parabolic run towards the upside. In the next cycle, 2020, we saw that exactly this blue line. Round about the 112 or 120 days, we saw this parabolic run towards the upside and the start of this major cycle and this phase 2 of the bull market, this parabolic phase. And yes, 2024, we are exactly here. So yes, we're close to this major move towards the upside. And yes, guys, I know it can be extremely frustrating, even if you invested in a lot of altcoins that are maybe down 60%. But guys, what is really going to be important is your time horizon and your strategy that you're going to hold on exactly now. Sit on your hands, and the only thing that you can do is either accumulate exactly within these dumps, and every dump that you're getting, you're just accumulating, or you're just going to hold, because eventually, guys, we're going to see this fast move. And I think this fast move is about to break out. Yes, guys, I think we're close before a major breakout towards the upside, like I told you exactly here. Because ultimately, guys, if you want to find out more what is about to happen and which coins you need to hold, and guys, yes, which strategy you should apply, make sure to subscribe, smash up the like button, but most importantly, guys, hold on to your crypto, be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.